Check, check, check. Man, my mic seems to keep acting up a little bit. Okay, so thanks, Cadrius, for letting me know the sound was out. Check, check, check. Man, my mic seems. All right. So I was just saying that we're going to forego the watching of the final part of Gradius 5 tonight. We'll pick up on that tomorrow or the day after. And just going to get straight into Game Maker tonight. And I got to keep the stream a little bit shorter than normal just because I have some other things to tend to. So just going to get started right into level 2. So I'm just kind of winging it at the moment. And we are going to... let me check some other items real quick. There we go. So we are going to start out by looking at the cars, see where we left off. I think they're in a pretty good place right now. I may have some sound effects to add to that. I'm not sure if I have sound effects yet for those explosions. I may just end up temporarily using some of the other explosion sound effects that we have for the cars. I think, though, that might be a little bit too much if I use those same sound effects. So the sound effects might need to be a little bit toned down for the car explosions. What else? I thought of a way to exactly fix the light issue, how the light was offset yesterday, and the one that was offset in the weirdest way was the van, the larger van, and so I thought of a way to get that correct every time for not only that sprite and several other sprites. I did want to increase the damage the damage that had to be made to each of those vehicles. So the vehicles will have a little bit more hit points, and then we will add the other weapons in so that the other weapons can also attack the cars or the vehicles. And then we're also going to probably try to put everything, all the attacks through one script, and we'll see how successful we are on that. I think that'll probably take us through to the end. I do have some other sprites that I can get started on. I have a helicopter sprite, an attack sprite for level 2. I don't necessarily want to hop straight into that, though, mainly because I definitely want to address the issues that we currently have with the weapons attacking, and just kind of how out of control it is getting right now. And I'd like to clean it up a little bit at the very least. So it may not ever get to a super pristine state, but I think there is some maintenance that definitely needs to be done there. So so let's just watch kind of where we were from yesterday on level 2, and go from there. See where we're at here. Okay, still loading in here, just waiting. Okay, so yeah, this looks pretty good down in the cityscape below. The cars look a little bit funny, but they don't look bad. Plus, they'll be going by much faster, so there may be some. We'll probably be in good shape here overall. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, they don't really do too much that they shouldn't do here, and that's the main thing I'm looking for. My goal is not to spend a ton of time getting this right. I want to get it to the point where it's believable. Yeah, Cadrius, that's what I was talking about. I've got the van light. I've got a real good solution for all of them. And the math is going to be the same for every single one of them, so we don't have to do anything special. So the sprite is, I don't think it's centered directly on the point of the van, but I'll show it to you real quick. Yeah, it's not. So the Y position is at 20 and the width position is at 59. But that's perfectly fine. It doesn't matter. What I'm about to do doesn't matter at all for what the point of origin is. It's actually going to take the point of origin into account and then going to output the correct number for us. So I'm going to do that. So I think it's under scripts. It's likely under obstacles or controllers. I think it's in the step event of the obstacle controller. Here's where it is. We're setting the X and Y here, and then we have an end step event to keep it in line. So this is probably the more important of the two, not necessarily just where it is created at. So yeah, let me pull this compile window down and out of the way. There we go. And so let me think about this just for a second. I need to get the argument's Y position. Argument 0 in this case is the vehicle. And I don't want to get the sprite height yet. The next thing I want to do is get the argument 0 dot sprite Y offset for the argument 0 dot sprite index. And let me just think about this for a second. The Y position minus the sprite index will take it to the very top, plus the sprite height, and minus 8 I don't think is necessary anymore. Right, that's what I'm trying to take care of. So let's do that real quick. This should take care of that, as long as I get all the bugs worked out. What do we have here? An extra parentheses. We basically don't need that guy anymore, and we don't need this guy. I think this can just go in order. The Y position minus the sprite Y offset of the sprite index plus the sprite height. We'll put it directly at the bottom. And I think that'll be right. Apparently I have another bug here. Play. Line 2, position 47, unknown function or script. Sprite Y offset. Why is that? Let me look at this real quick. I just discovered this function yesterday, so I must be using it incorrectly. Returns the Y component of the sprite origin. So argument 0 dot sprite underscore Y offset should work for us. I guess I don't need to pass in the sprite index. Let's try that. Okay, we're loading up here. We'll see if this works. Let's see. Now everything is offset the exact same, which is fine, and I think that -8 might still come in handy, but everything is in the exact same position now. Yeah, actually it does still need to be -8 because of the height of the sprite. You know what? In fact, I think I'll change the height of the sprite instead of just subtracting 8 off of it. So I think I'll just clip the height of the sprite. Yeah, because it's pointless for it to be this large. So I'm going to edit it. Trying to see here. Crop. Nope. There's got to be a little bit easier way to do this. I think I'll just take it over to GIMP real quick. What do I have? No, I'm going to edit it. Let's see. I think I got them right here. Ah, gosh. I don't want to edit every single one of them, so I take it back. I'm just going to update it with the, where are we at, GameMaker? Just going to update it. Let's see, maybe I could do this. 20, 18, 17, 16, 16. Let's try 16. Just change the point of origin instead. And that's why I'm not the image guy. That's why I don't do the images, man, because Chris is really good with the images because he can just sit there and work for hours, and I have a hard time doing that. So, I mean, work for hours on pixel for pixel artwork. He has the patience for that. I think I can work for hours on, you know, building and writing and troubleshooting code, but when it comes to the artwork, I'd have to be trained a lot better to feel like I would want to tackle it. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Yep, it fixed the van too. Yep, the van looks good. I think we're in a good place. I don't really think I need to touch the van anymore. I think the next thing I'm going to do is I will increase the hit points of each vehicle. Pretty simple to do. Just do it all in one place through the base vehicle, and make sure the create script base vehicle init has much more hit points. Basically, we also have to check and see what our power is versus the vehicle. So I'm checking the bullet's power at the moment. I think it's just 10 times 15. I think it'd be like 150 or something. So I'm checking 1. So I said that incorrectly. 1 times global hit impact, which I think is set to 1, and then bullet impact. I'll check the global hit impact real quick. Global dot hit impact, and I'm looking for it in the reset game. hit impact is original hit impact, which is 5. So it's 5 times the bullet impact. So we're going to search for the bullet impact. I'm looking for the create event. Create event. It'd either be right here at line 35 or in a create event for the bullet. Step, 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 step. No create event. And that's fine. I think it's probably this very first one. Explosion, bullet impact, nope, it is definitely not that one. Weapon impact here, this is for the script weapon attack, and we are not going to be in that one. So let's go look at the bullets create, because I feel like it's in the create. Let's look, bullet impact. It's not here. Step event, here it is. So depending on what we're using, this is close range, mid range, and long range shotgun shells. They have different power. And then otherwise, it's the Vulcan cannon, and it is 1. So right now, 1 times 5 times 1 is what is happening here. So it's got a hit impact of 5 overall. So it's going to subtract 5 hit points each time it hits the vehicle. So because I want it to hit the vehicle, probably let's just try giving the vehicle 25 hit points and see how that feels. Thumbs up, play. Because I kind of want it to be a little bit of a nuisance for him to come down there and work on the cars. I don't want it to be a complete pain in the ass, but I want it to be a little bit of a nuisance. That's probably another thing I need to create, is like a hit point engine. Basically let all the hit points of every enemy be in one place. That feels a little bit too tough. It's gonna have to be a little bit less than that. Let's say 3 hits. See if that feels better. Because the other thing is they're going to be flying by so quick at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, I see that too, Cadrius. So I'm actually just gonna fix that for all of them the same way I just basically did with the lights. I think if I determine the sprite Y offset and we just put it at the sprite Y offset, we're in a good spot if we do that. Okay, so no, maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see. I've got to look at the sprites basically. It won't be here. It'll actually be in the bullet impact. So here we go. Oh, I'm definitely not going to change the sprite size. The sprite size is definitely not ever going to change. The X position is at the sprite get X offset for the sprite index. That was my problem a minute ago. I was basically thinking I was doing this instead of just saying sprite Y offset. So I could probably, instead of even doing this, I think I could make this a little bit simpler so it doesn't have to run through a function, and say hit vehicle sprite X offset, like that, and update this guy to sprite Y offset. That'd probably be a little bit cleaner. But obviously this is causing a little bit of a problem with the van. I gotta look at the explosions point of origin real quick. So the explosions point of origin is actually pretty accurate. And then the van's point of origin is pretty good as well. So, Cadrius, you're asking about the Y offset. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's basically just the exact same as the explosion on the X position. It's just the Y. It's just the Y version of that. So I think the problem is that we don't need the sprite Y offset, and I think that's exactly what the problem is overall, actually, because we want the Y position, and the Y position is pretty accurate for all of them. And the X position, we don't really need the sprite X offset either. We want the X position to basically be right where it is. So thumbs up on that. Hit OK, play. Hey, Astra 6, welcome back. Atomic MV, how's it going? Teabag Halo 4, how's it going? Yep, that's right. Sure, it could stand to be down just a little bit. I actually think the correction, there's a small correction on each of them, and it's going to be the math on it is going to be Y offset minus, or it's going to be the Y position minus the Y offset plus the sprite height. It'll basically be the exact same thing as the other one, because we want the, even though the point of origin is basically in about the, up at least, I don't know, 5 to 8 pixels on each one of the sprites, we basically want the explosion to happen right at the bottom of the sprite. So it's the from what I can see, it's going to be basically the exact same math that we just did to get the lights correct. Yeah, so this will be the correction. Let's see, back here. Nope. Back here. Atomic Envy, thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, our artist director, our art director. Sorry, I'm at a loss for words tonight. Our art director has spent a lot of time making each one of these sprites. You should see level 1. If this is your first time seeing it, you should also see level 1. And yeah, we've basically got level 1 all but complete. I mean, we'll make some small changes here and there, but it's complete. And if you want, you can see some of that on our previous YouTube videos. So basically, I'm going to say minus hit vehicle dot y sprite y offset plus hit vehicle dot sprite height. That'll put it right at the bottom, because the Y position is at the point of origin, exactly at the point of origin. If I subtract off of that the Y offset, that is also helping us figure out how to get to the top of the sprite. So if I get to the top of the sprite, I can then add the sprite height back in and I get to the bottom of the sprite. So that right there should do it. Let's try this again. Jackal Gamer, man, welcome. Good to see you in here again. Pretty close, pretty close. Look at one other thing here, which is the height of the van sprite. Okay, cool. It's fine. I think I'm going to subtract about 4 pixels off of everything. Everything looks like it could go up about 4 pixels. Try this one more time. Yeah, that looks pretty good right there. So Cadrius is saying if you get the vehicle offset, which will get Y, 0 height plus the sprite height. I think I like the way it is. I think the math is correct the way I have it, so I'm going to leave it this way. I see a small problem, which is I don't know, maybe it's a problem, maybe not. I also got to make sure that these are getting destroyed as they go off screen. I want to make sure that's occurring. Off the top of my head, I can't remember if that's actually happening. So let's check. No, it's not happening. Okay, so just do it here, else if argument 0 dot x is less than 0, we'll say actually it's not x but x plus, we don't have to be exact on this, sprite argument 0 dot sprite width, so that'll be a little bit further than the size of the actual sprite. It'll be a little bit off screen before we do any of this, and then we just say width argument 0. The problem, if we don't handle this, we're basically going to, if we don't basically do some garbage collection, we're going to run into some trouble with the game just running into memory issues. So we got to make sure that if it goes off screen, it gets destroyed. Otherwise, it just sits off screen forever. Okay, and takes up memory. Else if argument 0 dot x plus argument 0 dot sprite width. That needs to be minus. Let me see. Nope. plus was correct. Sorry, just thinking through how this is going to work. Is less than 0, then destroy the vehicle, and that's fine. I'm okay with running this every single time. It won't be that bad. Alright, I don't need to run again to test that. I think we're in a good spot with that. Okay. What do we want to tackle next? I'm pretty happy with the way all that's working. Actually, let's work on the hitbox for those things. Let's make them light up whenever they get hit. And the way we'll do that is we'll do that in the draw event. And I'd like to see if I could actually pass something in the draw event over to a script. I'm not sure that I can, but we will see. So this is just a small touch that we're going to do. Basically, make the each of those cars light up when they get hit. So we're going to add a draw event, pull an action over in so that we can work on it. And then I basically already have this work done in tons of my other objects. So I'm just going to open up one of these other enemies and pull this in for a moment. I opened the wrong one. Let me get this guy right here. I don't want to open that one. Let's open enemy 2. Be the most simple one to pull from. So this is what I want to see if I can put into a script. I'll do that momentarily, but first of all, let's talk through this for a moment. Just in case you're tuning in and you want to figure out how to make any of your units flash whenever they're hit. We have a variable that gets set when the object is initialized on the create event. That guy right there. And we also have another variable called collision on, and one called flash counter, and those are the main 3 that occur. I guess there's a 4th one, flash counter max. And so flashing is equal to true. Before we can even get into this block, we're checking to see if flashing is equal to true and collision on is equal to true. So what we basically do with our collisions with the bullets and with the katana blade or with the shotgun shells, we basically turn these on when these bullets impact the enemy object. The flash counter helps us do a quick flash back and forth. So we have a flash counter max. So I think the flash counter max is set to 7. Just by default, this is just kind of what I set a flash counter to, or to be able to go up to, is 7. So the flash counter is going to increment every step in the room. The draw event is similar to the step event in that the draw event runs once every step if you have a draw event in place. From what I understand and from what I've read with GameMaker, it's a little bit more taxing on the game that you're creating to have a draw event. So best not to put any extra code in here that doesn't need to be in here. It's usually best to keep as much logic as possible out of here and only do things in here that actually kind of change the sprite in a specific way that you need them to change. So once these get turned on, then you're inside of here and you're actually contacting the enemy. And we have a couple of, I did some reading on this. I'm sure if you did enough reading, you could pull up some of the same material that I pulled in. But we basically have some pieces, some functions that GameMaker uses to draw on top of the sprite. So there's a set blend mode ext, a draw rectangle color, another set blend mode, a sprite ext, Atomic MV, thank you for the follow. a draw set blend mode ext, a draw rectangle color, and a draw set blend mode. So let's do what we as developers aren't always the fondest of doing while we're programming, but it's something that's very necessary for us. Let's look up these methods and we could talk through them really quickly. Blend mode ext sets an extended blend mode. That's what the ext stands for drawing. So you give it a source and a destination. You can use constants and destination. So these are the different types of constants that you can input in here. And BM, I'm using BM INV destination color. I think that's invert the destination color, and then BM 0. So here's the destination color and 0. And these are simple blend factors. So these are basically different ways to change your sprite based on what you apply to them. So here's a good grid that kind of shows you exactly how it's going to change your image. So draw a rectangle color is really simple. It's literally just going to draw a rectangle over the top of your sprite, but it actually kind of sits behind your sprite and doesn't actually actually appear to be a rectangle behind your sprite. It's kind of like the sprite is a window to whatever it is that you're going to draw over the top of it. But the gaming engine needs to have a rectangle drawn over the top of it so it knows how to change the color of it. So we take the bounding box left, bounding box top, bounding box right, bounding box bottom, and we set what colors we want each of those 4 sides to have. You can basically do gradients in this way, but if you set them all to white, this is kind of how you flash from white to, you'll notice in here I've got some black as well. It'll flash back and forth between white and black. Set your blend mode back to normal. So remember, we set it up here, but we then set it back to normal, and we want it to flash one more time. So we go through this process one more time and set everything so that it basically runs what just ran right here one more time. And we have this piece in here which does takes the sprite index, the image index, the X and Y position. This is how the particular sprite gets drawn on top of the rectangle gets drawn on top of the position that you're trying to draw it on. The image X scale, the image Y scale, the image angle, the C black, and the image alpha. Now all of those refer directly to the sprite that goes with this object. So that being said, this is modulus too, so it's not going to happen every single step. It's going to happen every other step. If you're familiar with modulus, modulus just does a division. So depending on what this is, let's say this is 0 divided by 2. If that is equal to 0, then this runs. If this is 1 divided by 2, and that is equal to 0, which it's not, in that case it won't run. If it's 2 divided by 2, well, you have no remainder left. That's equal to 0, so it runs this. So it basically runs every other step. And then the other step that this doesn't run, it runs this other piece here. So similar to what we had right here in this line, we have basically the only difference between these two lines is that one is black and one is white. And that's what's happening on the off step. So it kind of gives that flash that's occurring. And then when you're done and you're not flashing and the collision is not turned on, you have to draw the image back to what it was initially. So just the defaults that you have for that particular image. And so at that point it just kind of goes back to what it should. So hope that makes sense. I haven't talked through the flashing yet, but kudos to the guys on the GameMaker forums because I did a lot of reading, had to do a lot of reading to figure this one out, but it definitely works, and I'll show that to you here in a minute. But this is inside the base vehicle draw, which means we're going to have to set some variables. We got to set, we're going to set those inside of the init. So let's do that right now. Pull that up. So we'll set them here. Argument 0 dot flashing equals false. Argument 0 dot collision on equals true. Argument 0 dot flash counter equals 0, and argument 0 dot flash counter max equals 7. So when it hits its max, it will stop flashing and it will reset the flash counter. The other thing is, I think we're good there. Need to now go over to the weapon and make sure we're setting the collisions correctly. Let's see how we're doing it here. See how we're setting flashing to true. I think there's a collision on that we might be setting. I may end up taking that out. I think, I remember what I set that for. So that was set on enemy 2, and we were having a problem with enemy 2 where we had a death animation occurring right after enemy 2 lost all of its health, but we were having the enemy basically die and explode, but also kill Skycurser if it ran into Skycurser. So when enemy 2 died, we immediately, in its death script, we immediately set collision on to false. So it was set to it was set to true by default, but then when it was killed, until its animation was completely, its death animation was completely finished, we would turn that collision on to false so that it could no longer connect with Skycurser. So in our particular instance, we don't need that inside of this guy, so we can take out collision on, and we'll make sure to also take that out of the init script. So flashing is all we need for this guy, because right now I don't think, unless Chris and I have a conversation, I don't think I'm going to have the vehicles possibly collide with Skycurser. Maybe we will. Maybe that'll just add one more element of difficulty to it. I think it wouldn't hurt to do that, but I don't know that's our intent, is to let the vehicles down below connect with Skycurser. Okay, so script, I'm looking for the base vehicle init. I want to remove collision on because we did not need that. So good there. Mini blast bullet's gone. And the last thing we need to do inside a mini blast bullet is set flashing to true. So once we have a connection, we basically do that here. Hit vehicle.flashing equals true, and then it gets set to false by default when it's done flashing. As you remember, we just set that up inside of the script, right? So flashing gets set to false whenever it's completed its full revolutions. So let's go watch this. This should work. So you can see the flashing. It happens really quickly, and actually I think I would like it to happen a little bit slower, so I'm going to set the modulus level a little bit higher. So set this modulus up a little bit to every 5 steps. Let's just see if that works. The other thing that I'm realizing that I might have missed when I destroy the vehicle, if it goes off screen, is also destroying the lights on the vehicle. So let me determine if I need to do that as well. Cool, I like it. Too much. If I make the health too much stronger, it'll just be hard to kill, especially since they're going to be going much faster at the bottom. I may even take it down one more notch. I also just realized I could make something a little bit more efficient here, so I'm going to do that real quick. Basically, if the hit points is less than 0 or they're off screen, HP less than 0 or all the way off screen, destroy the car and the lights, otherwise return the object. Thumbs up. Okay. Let's speed up the vehicles now because I think they're in a good state. So that'd be in the step event, and this would be instead of, let's see here. Yeah, the speed here was between 1 and 2. We want to set it between 7.5 and 9.5. It's got to be at least 7.5 because the road is going by at a speed of 7. And obviously the vehicles are going to go a little bit faster than the road since the road is theoretically stationary. So let's just remove this guy, save. Let's see what this looks like. Cool, Chris. I'll hop on Skype in a second. Okay, I'm hopping on Skype right now, Chris, so give me a second. Okay, one other thing we're going to do for level 2 is make it so that Skycurser can't go below a certain point. We want them to basically take up a little bit less of the room, mainly because we want it to make it seem like at least a little bit that if he goes down any further, he's going to connect with the ground. And I don't think we're going to actually kill you if you go down that far, but alright. Chris, can you hear me? Hold on a second, Chris. I can't hear you at all. I might have some issues with my sound. So I'm trying to hook that up right now. Test, test. Chris, are you there? Test, test. I can't hear it all, Chris. Did you maybe update your mic or something? Try calling me right back. Chris, I can't hear you at all, man. I'm not sure what's going on, bro. I've checked my speakers. I know I can hear on Skype. So I'm not exactly sure what the deal is. Let me restart Skype real quick. That could be a problem on my end because it needed to recognize the new setup. Okay, let me try again. Test, 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 test. Test, test, test. Can you guys hear me? I think you can hear me now. If room get name is equal to room level 2, Test, test. It's quiet? Is it still quiet? Test, 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 test. I think you can hear me. I mean, it looks like you can hear me based on what I can see. Talk about Skype frustrations. Skype basically screwed it all up. Check, baby, 1, 2. Check, baby, check, baby. Test, test, test. Can you hear me? Is that any better? Room height minus, okay, cool. Man, so freaking annoying. Skype just took over my audio. Alright, I'm going to say minus, I'm going to go look at the sprites for this real quick. Backgrounds, level 2. Background 0 is the bottom. Well, I guess I can't exactly tell. So I'm just going to guess on this one. It's got to be at least maybe 55. Else regular. Okay, thumbs up. Guys, thanks for helping me troubleshoot. I don't know what the hell problem is. Yeah. Raid call or TeamSpeak. That'd be probably a better idea. Something to look into, Cadrius. Yeah, I'm familiar with them. Going back in to test the room boundary for level 2. I just updated the room boundary for Skycurser. I don't quite think it's working like... yeah, maybe actually that is about right. Let me try again to update the distance. I think we need a little bit more. Well, actually, I think I just spelled the room incorrectly, so let's verify. Yeah, I did. Probably correct if I fix the name of the room. Okay, let's check what we got. Ooh, that's pretty good. That's pretty close, actually. I think I want to take it down a little bit so I can go a little bit further down, but not much. Maybe 10 or 20 pixels at the most. Where are we at here? A happy medium in between there. 40 pixels. Yeah, let's try 40. Yeah, so Cadrius, Chris is telling you we have a lot of the video game out there actually on our YouTube channel. We have tons of playthroughs of level 1 already. So it looks like you're going to take a look. Well, we do get into the gameplay all the way through several times. Yeah, this is perfect. Okay, guys, we're humming right along here. Okay, we're streaming right. We're moving right along here. I think, man, what should I do here? Cadrius, I'll just make a I'll just do a playthrough real quick. As soon as I'm done with this, I think I'm going to pull in. I think I'm going to do some of my cleanup off stream in terms of my code cleanup, but I think I'll pull in that helicopter, Chris, unless you got something else that you think I should be working on next. I think that the cars are in a really good spot right now, and I don't think there's a lot more that I can or should do to them. So, Cadrius, if you want to see a playthrough real quick, I'll go ahead and light it up for you. If you have time at the end of all your tasks, you said you could do one. Yeah, would be appreciated. Let me see what time it is. Yeah, let's do one right now, and then I'll move over to the helicopter and see how far I can get. I have a little bit of time here, but not much, so we'll see what we're at. I'll just do a playthrough real quick.
Skycurser. Mission 1. Death at dusk. Go!
Apparently I have it so that you can't kill those guys for right now. Dragnil Ram, thanks for the follow, man. Oh, there's a kill. I don't know. So it looks like it's connected. When it connects with the guy on top, it's not really working, but when it connects with the aircraft, it does work. So I'm not exactly sure what the bug is there. Oh, I think I know what it is. Those guys have ridiculous amounts of health. Not exactly sure why I did that, I can't remember, but I think they have a large number of health. To the face!
Mission complete.
So there you go, lead into level 2, and right now, just kind of depending on how you come in, right now I don't have access to any of my controls, because basically the game did not re-enable the controls after defeating level 1. So basically your controls get disabled right at the end there, and I'll just need to re-enable them. But that's basically what we got so far, tie it right into level 2. So there's your playthrough, man. I'll fix those minor bugs that I found a little bit later. They won't take long to fix, but I'll make sure they get on our task list to fix. Okay, so we're going to update that start script to go straight to level 2 again. Okay, perfect. And then we're going to pull in the helicopter really quick to level 2, and that might be where I have to call it for the night. Got to go get the asset and drive. Thanks a lot, Cadrius, man. Really appreciate you saying that. We spent a lot of time on it, you know, like Chris spends a lot of time on the pixel art. I've spent a lot of time on learning how Game Maker works. They had no solo in Space Battle. You lost faith in Star Wars Battlefront 3. Yeah. That's crazy. Alright, so sprites, enemies. We're looking at heli. Holy shit, Chris, you've been going to town here, man. There's the helicopter. Let's look at the rider. Okay, the rider's sitting on top of the helicopter. Let's look at this guy. Let's start at the beginning. Start at number 1. Okay. Nice. Okay, so that's how it shoots. Damn, Chris, that's tight, man. That's tight. Oh my gosh. Alright. Get me out of here. Alright, heli projectile. Let's take a look at it. Wow, dude, an orb. That looks really good, man. Alright, let's preview this guy. This is what he shoots. It's a lot bigger in game, of course. I mean, these are really small to fit in the 320 by 240 space. And that's the projectile, and here's the propeller. Okay, cool. Looks good. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Let's do this. Alright, download these assets. Okay, let's open them up. Okay. Chris, quick question. Are you there? If you are, my question is, are there going to be more than one type of helicopter in this game? Okay, so backgrounds here, obstacles here, enemies here. Let's create a sprite, a group. We'll call this level 1. Now, we may or may not actually keep everything in here in level 1. We may pull some of these assets into level 2 or a different level later on, but for now, this is just going to be where they sit. Get this guy out of here. Okay, perfect. Create another group, level 2. I'm going to create a group here. We'll call this level 2, and we'll call another group level 1 because I have some obstacles from level 1. They're basically the Necrostar sprites. So those are the enemies for level, some of the obstacles for level 1. Everything else is an obstacle for level 2. Did not mean to open that. Here we go. Yes, there actually will be. We've been talking about that. There will be a heat-seeking rocket. It might even be partially this helicopter attack, this heli attack. Okay, so Chris, you might have stepped away for a second, but I asked, is this the only helicopter that you can foresee right now in the game, or are there possibly going to be more helicopters? Okay, let's load up the sprite. Remove background, open. So here it is. Okay. There's 26 sub-images. Here they all are together. That when it goes up must be when it's actually spitting the fireball, I'm guessing. And so I did not name it, so we're going to say seeking. Yeah, that's all right. Heli. Let's just call it Heli Wolf. And modify the mask. Of course, the mask is going to be precise. Hit OK. OK. Insert sprite. Heli Wolf prop. Let's add the prop next. Remove, okay. Modify mask, yep, make this precise too, okay. Center, yep, let's just make point of origin there. Alright. Make this guy's point of origin centered. I think that's probably okay where that's at. Create a sprite. Heli Wolf Rider. Remove, okay. Try the center on the point of origin, that's probably good. I'm guessing that's probably going to sit right on top because the other one is 140 by 80 as well, and that's fine exactly where that's at. Okay. Okay. And then create another sprite, and this one is the orb. Heli Wolf Rider attack. Load sprite. I'll just call it, I'll call it the projectile, the way he's got it labeled. Heli projectile. Center, hit OK. Alright, so, I'm thinking about how I generate enemies. And I have a controller for that in level 1, and that comes through this controller called the enemy generator, which I'm trying to find here. It must have gotten dropped in one of my other folders accidentally, so I gotta pull it out. That's probably fine to leave it here under enemies. So basically the way I pulled enemies in here was I created my own timeline. I didn't use GameMaker's timeline. By counting steps, I was able to determine when the next enemy should come in. So I'm probably going to do something similar to this for level 2. I'm debating in my head if this is the correct way to go. I think this is probably going to require some rework a little bit later. Chris, are you still there? I'll ask you one more time since you're having some issues. Well, actually, I'll type it. Is there going to be another helicopter in the game that you can foresee? Alright, one more time. Okay, this one's going to be lots of helicopters. Okay, perfect. Enemy generator 2. And there's no sprite for this. We'll add a create event for now. I don't know what's going to be in the create event yet. There will be some stuff in there. There will be a step event for sure. There's going to be some actions in the step event. Mainly there will be, we will use the room counter that is occurring in the controller for level 2. So the room counter, let's verify what all this is. I think it's, I think I took this stuff out, so I want to verify. And I have a base controller for the room. What's in the base controller? It's in the base controller room init. Here it is. Script reset room. And there's another one called script set level vars. Probably under room controls. And so these items here in number 1 are probably unique, or in level 2 I should say, are probably unique. Level 2 start, yep, complete. Room level 2 end. Script set level vars. So I'm going to rework it a little bit, Chris, but yeah, I'm just trying to pull it in so we can take a look at it all in one place right now. The way that enemies are triggered is definitely going to change, though. So what do you think the typical method is, Chris? Because if you're thinking it's basically a timeline, we have basically reworked GameMaker's timeline to make it work for us exactly the way we need it to. Okay, anyway, yep. I don't have a lot of time here, so I'm going to power through this and get this knocked out. So I'm looking for the room counter, though. That's what I was looking for. I don't see the room counter there. The room counter, I think, gets reset on the start of the next room. I'm trying to determine that. Object base controller room. Yeah, so when room level 2 gets called, the controller for the room level 2 gets called. The create event initiates, on the base controller, and that calls the one that we just looked at already, but I think it will reset the room counter, so let me verify that one more time as I'm thinking about different things each time I open these up. script reset room. Gotta look and see what's in script reset room. Here it is. Okay, so room step seconds is occurring. We want to put a step counter in the base controller room. Add event. Step, control, drop, script, base controller, room step, self.id, go ahead and pass yourself in, copy that guy, create a script over here. Okay. Now we will say, let's make sure we call this correctly. Window management sucks in GameMaker. Thumbs up. Hit OK. Room step counter is going to increment. I may already have this all worked out in level 1. Let me just see if I can just pull something straight from here. I don't see it right there, so I'm just going to write it. Okay. That guy plus room step counter. Let me keep looking here. Room seconds. So if global dot room step counter is greater than or equal to 60, it should never be over 60, but if it is, and I should probably change this from 60 to room speed, because that will keep the number if I change the room speed at all. So global dot room seconds plus at that point. And room step seconds off the top of my head, I'm not exactly sure what I had that set for. I could probably find it if I search for it, but this should suffice for now. And then once we're past that, we could say if oh, and the other thing I wanted to do was set this to 0. Global global dot room step counter 0. And global dot room step counter greater than or equal to room speed. Global dot room seconds plus room step counter equals 0. Perfect. If so, at this point we can just basically do some checking to see what the seconds are set to. If global dot room seconds are I have to reference my previous one. Okay, so I'm doing an increment for room step counter every time. So let's just do that as well. Global dot room step counter, or sorry, room step seconds. Well, I've already got room step counter. So if global dot room step counter is greater than or equal to room speed times 5, and that would mean if I'm going to do this, then I don't reset this to 0. So room speed here, and then instead of, let's just leave it at 5 for now, and then we go heli equals instance create XY I need to create the objects, enemies, so just doing some organization really quickly. Level 2, level 1, and these are things that I can do really quickly without wasting a lot of time, especially on stream. So I'm just trying to patch up and then create the objects that'll go right along with the sprites that we just created. And so now I can create a group here, level 1. And then create one more group, which is level 2, and this is where we'll create the heli. Alright. Create object, object, heli, wolf, guy, create event, add event, step event. Create event is going to automatically create the object that we're going to also create right now. So create object. We're going to attach everything. Object heli. Let me make sure I kind of name these similar. Wolf prop. Okay. Where is that? There it is. In step. Hit OK. We'll come back to that in a second. Still creating objects. And close this guy, open this guy. We've just created the prop. We need to create the rider and the projectile. I did want to rename this to say wolf projectile. Keep it consistent. Create object. Object. Heli wolf projectile. Yeah. Create object, object, heli, wolf, rider, enemy 2, level, wolf, rider, and we'll add an event, a create event, hit OK. Alright, let's say we're good there, and I think we are. Now I can go back and create the object heli wolf here. Yep. So once we create it, now we can go to the create event. Now, I will export these to scripts in the future, but just to keep this moving here, I'm going to say prop, var prop equals, I'm not going to do var, I'm just going to say prop equals instance create XY, and then object heli wolf prop, and it won't actually be XY. I don't know what it's going to be yet. I'm going to have to come in here and finagle this to get to the right position. but I'll do that as we move here. Prop, and then we'll call the next piece. We'll call the next piece Rider. X, Y, object, heli, wolf, rider. And all right, rider, and then the last one is we don't need to create the projectile. So for now, rider and projectile are good. Just put them in the same place as the heli. Now this will be correct, the rider will be correct, but we'll probably offset this. We'll figure out what that is momentarily. Once it's created, now we can go over to the step event. Or, we'll call this the actually the end step event. And yeah, let's put it here. Controller, and I'm going to remove the end step event in the in both of these in just a moment. So I'm going to remove it in the. I did not create it in the prop, but I think I. Oh, okay. I guess it automatically takes them out if you don't have anything in there. So we're just going to say prop.x equals x, prop.y equals y. I know this will be incorrect, but we'll get this in a minute. And then we'll do one more thing in here, which is rider.x equals x, rider.y equals y. That will be correct. I'm going to take a guess at where the prop should be. I'm going to say y minus 10. We'll see if that's right. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a little bit low. Let's do 15. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Y minus 15. And actually, I'll just create a variable called prop position. Prop pos equals, babe, y pos. So the y position, y minus 15, and we'll just control it in everywhere with this variable, y pos. And this guy will be y pos. Okay. Here we go, here we go. Y position. Let me think for a second. I think that'll be pretty close, and I'll have it generate at the left-hand side, and we'll do this all in here. We'll say heli dot nope, we'll do this in the step event. Well, we're actually going to do this at, obviously we can't put this at the base controller. This is incorrect. We need to go room width plus object heli wolf dot sprite width, and then the Y position will be at, let's say, room height divided by 5. And so that's going to generate off screen if I've done that correctly. And then on the step event, we will control its movement. For now, it's going to be a basic movement, just because I want to pull it on screen. And I'm pretty sure all the images are going to be fast like they normally are, so I'll probably end up slowing them down, but I'll check it first. And so we're going to say when it's created, set its direction equal to 180, set its speed equal to 1, just for now, just come on screen. When it gets to, if x is less than room width divided by 5 times 4, so come about a fifth of the way into the screen. think that'll be right. Yeah, okay, perfect. Then speed equals 0. And we'll should just let it hover there on screen for a minute, just so we can see it. So let's see if we got it. Pull it on screen. Should come on screen after about 5 seconds. I've got an error here. Apparently I've got probably one too many parentheses. Let me split these parentheses up. Yep, there's the culprit. Cool. Play again. All right, here we go. I think I'm missing one thing, which is the enemy generator. I don't think it's in the room yet, as I'm thinking through this before it loads up. And we're going to add that object real quick, guys. Sorry about that. Controllers, enemies, generator 2. That's fine right there, and play. Okay, here we go. Five seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm thinking about the depth of the heli. Who knows where the depth is? It's probably behind everything, so it might be here, but we don't see it yet. So let's make sure we send it through the depth engine. So when it gets created, controllers, enemies, enemy generator 2, and specifically the step event. And the other thing is this. Man, what happened to my code? Thought my code was written inside the enemy generator, but I don't see it inside enemy generator 2. I don't think it's in the create event. I don't see it here in the step event. Man, I thought through some of that. Not a big deal though. Level 2, let's just go look at the heli wolf and see. That's fine the way it is. And the create event is there. That's there. Okay, for whatever reason my code didn't save, so let's write that one more time. Oh, you know what? I think it partially did save in the room level 2 controller. So that's there, and the level 2 is here. Gen controller. Maybe not, maybe not. I don't see it. Let's try that one more time. I'll do a search really quick. I must have dropped that, guys. Sorry, I must have dropped that in a script that I didn't realize it dropped it in. Global dot room step seconds. Say room step counter plus plus. That's the exact syntax. Base controller. That's where I put it. So that's fine. That's fine. I'm okay with that, but I need to take this out of here and put this inside of. Man, thank God I didn't lose all that. I mean, I know it wasn't a lot, but I did think through how some of that had to work. Beyond that, we need to make sure that depth is set for this guy. Heli.depth equals depth engine. And actually, I'll probably do it in the create event of the heli wolf. And we'll just do it here. Depth equals depth engine. And pass in self, actually script depth engine, pass in self. I think the correct thing to do here would be self dot get object name, object get name, self. But I got to look and see how this is set up. I think that's correct, but I may be off barely. Okay, so I have to actually pass in the object itself and not the name of the object. So I think self will work. I'm going to try it. See if I can get lucky on that one. It's just a guess. I haven't tested that. And then we need to make sure that he is in front of the first set of buildings. Behind the lampposts. No, in front of the lampposts. Street and concrete barrier. And we'll say put him right here. Case object heli wolf break, and then my argument 1 equals 192. This will put him in front of the lamppost. So if he goes down, the lamppost will be behind the heli. I think that's about where I want it. Let's try it. Matt Blaz, what's up, man? I think it's Matt Blaze, so what's up, man? All right. Getting close here, guys. Anytime. One thing I might do, because I don't see what I think I should be seeing, is show a debug message on the enemy generator. With the enemy generator, I'll do a show debug message. Last thing I'm going to do is make sure that that enemy generator 2 is the actual object that's in here. Yeah, so it's right there. It's that object right there. So we're good there. It's in room level 2. Now the thing that I need to do is make sure that it is incrementing like it says it's incrementing. So let's go here in the step controller, and let's say once every second, let's do a show debug message. of the global dot room seconds and hit play. Okay. Okay, so the debug message is running even though we're in game, so we're going to look at it when we hop out. We may also make the room so that it is not full screen, because I think there's something where the it will only increment once. That's my fault. So we need to say, okay, so I've made a mistake here. Global.room step seconds. I have another variable. This is what this is for. Room step seconds greater than equal to room speed. Global.room step seconds equals 0. Okay. I'm gonna hit play because I think that was the reason why it wasn't generating properly. I've got a problem with what I did here. Plus plus. And I'm gonna remove this for now because I don't think it's necessary. I would, if this doesn't work, which I think it will, I'll make it set the game not to full screen so I can watch the debug message as it's happening. Because I'm not sure, but I think GameMaker kind of like destroys the debug messages or something whenever you come out of the game. Okay, so I don't see it. We do this simply, and we do it inside of the controller for boot, I think it is. Let's see if that's it. Here it is, set screen false. Thumbs up there, and then let's go ahead and show that debug message on the base controller. It's right here. Sorry, wrong one. And then show me the debug message, and then we'll do one thing here, which is seconds passed, and then string, and then hit play. So we should be able to watch both of these at the same time.
Skycurser.
What am I missing? Where's the debug message supposed to be coming out at? I thought it was supposed to be coming out right on the compile window, but I'm not seeing it at all. And that could mean that my base controller is not loading, although I think it should be. let's go look at level 2 on the room again. Let's look at this. Controller background level 2, room level 2. Is room level 2 inheriting from the parent? Let's make sure. It's inheriting the event there, and it is inheriting, not inheriting the step event. That's probably my problem. So it wouldn't even show the debug message if it never hits it. So let's get out of the game right here. And we should be able to hit play on this now. And we should see some output in the debug window. And we might have just fixed our problem because now it's going to increment like it should have. And if this fixes it, I'll explain what just happened. Okay, it's really small because that's 320 by 240, what it looks like when it's not full screen. Don't see any debug happening. So disappointing, Game Maker. Let's do a debug in the create event here. Show debug message, and we'll say controller level 2 loaded, and we'll do the same thing in the parent event, or the parent object, which is going to be in the script, in the init script, and we will say base controller base loaded. Base room. Okay. Play.
The most legendary name in paint is now at Lowe's. What is his name? Oh, it's HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams.
Alright, going back in here. Boom, so they're both loading. Here's the output right here. That's good, but our counter isn't working like we're expecting it to. Script reset room is supposed to be setting these, which it is, and then script room step maybe is not getting called. Room step seconds is equal to room speed. Room seconds plus plus, room step seconds here. Look, I basically also I did some work that I already had done. That's funny. I wrote it a while ago, I think, and just forgot I had written it. So let me look at what I got here. If Skycurser is alive, then the step counter plus equals 1 times the global speed multiplier, important for time warp. Global.room step seconds plus plus, perfect. Step seconds is equal to, we need to say greater than or equal to room speed, and then room seconds plus plus room step seconds equals 0. I don't think this guy is running. I do want to make sure it gets called though. We'll say script room step is there, and then we'll take this guy out of here and put him over here, and then delete this other stuff here. Let's see. One thing that I'm not doing over here is incrementing the room step counter. Room step counter plus plus. And then remove this. Now it's definitely getting called. Thumbs up. And then the last thing we need to do is make sure the enemy generator is working off of this data. Nothing there. Here's part of the problem. This is running in the init. It should be running in the step. Matt Blaze, thank you for the follow. Thanks a lot, Matt Blaze. Really appreciate it. So thumbs up. Hit OK. I think we might have it. I know I've said that a couple times, guys, but I am finding issues each time, and it's this is going to be the hardest part, is just getting the first enemy on screen, really, for level 2, because we got to put everything in place just to create one enemy. And like I said, we're probably going to rework the way that we're generating enemies in the future. Chris and I were briefly talking about it a little bit on stream, but yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, we got an error. Unable to find any instance. I may have named something incorrectly. Okay, it just doesn't like the way that I'm trying to pull in the sprite, I think, the sprite width here. So no worries on that. All we got to do to fix that is just go